Liquidity is a challenge in crypto. I just fell in love with the community. Our mission and our vision is one word: adoption.
Welcome to XXIM Podcast, your home of decentralization. Today, I've got with me Felix. Felix is the founder of Kurncy. Welcome, Felix.
Thanks for having me.
So, Felix, why don't we start from a very simple question? What is Kurncy?
So, Kurncy Solutions actually is a Canadian registered company with Kaspa-Centric solutions and vision of let's say a not so distant future. So we see Kaspa ecosystems and technologies at many places, and that could resolve many issues or use cases that we currently have on the crypto world and also in the traditional space.
So I think there's lots to unpack there, but you're trying to bridge the crypto to traditional, as I said at the outset, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Because I went through the website. I when I was going through your website, I thought, are you trying to be an exchange? You're certainly a wallet, and we're gonna go through a demo. And I also thought, obviously you're trying to build some APIs for the traditional banking system. So I thought, is it a theme that you have in mind that normal people can understand? How do you define what you're trying to build here?
The project or my mission started with a problem.
Right.
Right now, for me myself, when I try to acquire Kaspa or any other crypto in Canada, here in Canada, we have to go through many platforms, exchanges, and perform many transactions or even swaps between crypto to especially acquire Kaspa. And I see that as an issue for myself. And that's what Kurncy right now is focusing on, being a solution for users to acquire Kaspa with our technologies, the API and also the wallet. Within your wallet, you will be able here in Canada and even in the US to send money and receive Kaspa as an exchange. So yes, we will have exchange licenses here in Canada to perform those transactions. Yes, of course.
Right. This is actually exactly what I thought, that eventually, the way you're defining it is an exchange, right? And you're trying to perhaps simplify the exchange function and just focus on Kaspa specific exchange, right? Along with giving the user a wallet so that they can hold that currency once they got it. So that's the wallet, right? Okay, good. At least I wasn't that off. So tell me then, Felix, when you say it's hard, because you're now saying that we have exchanges, and for exchange to work, you have to do on-ramp, right? So you have some sort of on-ramps, then you get to whatever exchange you have in Canada that you use. Then from there, you have to get into the USDT pair with Kaspa. You convert that, obviously, buy some Kaspa, then move Kaspa over to your wallet, right? Out of the exchange to your wallet. So what steps you gonna save there, like with Kurncy? Like, what is the process going to be there?
So we see it as a one step, actually.
Okay.
Right now, what you've described is a couple steps to acquire Kaspa in your own wallet. So and we and maybe the public and those who will be listening to us later today or tomorrow or even a year from now, they know how it's currently done. And our mission and our vision is one word: adoption. New customers, new users, create and growing not only Kaspa community but also the crypto community. And for let's say we all have friends that don't know and don't buy crypto, and the main reason is it's complicated. It's it's difficult for them to grasp that they have to transfer money to an exchange and swap. Even the terms are complicated. So
Mm.
so our solution is a one step. Will be a one step. So once you have a wallet created or imported in your in our systems, or even if you have a wallet on another app and you want to buy there, you will have to use our technology in our wallet app or at our partners to exchange your money. So by ordering, let's say, an amount, any
Mm.
amount of Kaspa, it will all process itself on the back end in the background for you, and you will receive the Kaspa right into your wallet, your main and own wallet.
Okay. All right. So how would that happen? Let's take an example here. So I'm your friend that you
Yeah,
defined, or I
yeah.
have never bought Kaspa. So what are the steps that I need to go through now? And I'm sure you're going to explain to us, and you're going to do some demo. But just quickly, I think for now, just what are the steps you're saving here? I guess that I want to know.
Okay, so right now it's not possible with our wallet to acquire or
Okay.
to perform fiat exchanges or transfer from on and off ramp, because we have not released that yet. But let's say here in Canada, we have a thing called Interact, which is, let's say, the Venmo
Okay. I see.
app from the US. So yeah, here in Canada we have Interact. So once you've subscribed, sign up into the Kurncy right now, the Kurncy
Yeah.
wallet,
Yeah.
you'll have to create a Kaspa wallet at least.
Mhm.
We might add, let's say, an auto creation in the future once we will be there. But right now you have to create your own wallet, name it,
Yeah.
and you will have now a Kaspa address for you to receive funds. From there, uh, if we, let's say, we use or we talk only on the Kurncy wallet app, you'll have a
Mhm.
function, a button to click. With that, it will simply ask you how much,
Okay.
and and click OK, let's say. Okay.
Right.
From there, with the Interact technology here in Canada, you will receive basically it's a text message, an SMS. You will receive an SMS saying that you have to send money to a certain account, and once that is completed, here our, let's say, our API will know that your transfer is completed, and you will receive automatically the Kaspa into your account.
I see. I
So
see.
basically, that's
Yeah.
will be the architecture behind it, and it
Yeah.
will be the same with in the US. We are in discussion with Plaid, which is behind Venmo,
Okay.
and it will be the same process for the US.
So Interact and Played will act like a on ramp for you. And where is the transaction happens? Then they're just providing a USD, right? So you'll have to go and source some Kaspa, right? How
Yeah.
does that function happens? You go and source some Kaspa, and obviously then you pay it to someone else, right? So what is that function?
Good question. On that hand, we have not many solutions.
Yeah.
Liquidity is let's say a challenge in crypto
Yeah.
liquidity.
Yeah.
Since there's limited
Yeah.
a limited amount of Kaspa. So right now, we do have Currency do have let's say a pool of Kaspa accessible right now, and we are partnering with others
Right.
that also owns Kaspa, and basically we will build our own pool, decentralized pool,
Right.
with many partners that and will be, let's say, eager to sell Kaspa or even buy Kaspa. So that's how we will treat and perform the on-off ramp with our partners.
The reason I got interested is because this is very crucial to understand where is the liquidity coming from, right? Because when you have when you're building, and just from user's perspective, right? A builder and user, of course, we are both, right? You are both user for Kaspa, but also you're a builder here. So you need to, like, from a user's perspective, I want to know if I'm keeping that Kaspa on the wallet, I'm not, it's truly in my wallet. It's not being used as exchange, like typically exchanges do, right? They can use your tokens because they know you're not going to withdraw it. But that's not the case in your case, right? It's sort of you trying to build a different structure here.
Right. Yeah, we call it a decentralized safe environment. So it's not. We will need let's say exchanges license here in Canada to perform those type of transaction, but we don't call it ourselves a centralized exchange, since we will be using our pool of partners, which will be decentralized as a group of people that will be providing our community and user Kaspa community and users to buy exchange Kaspa.
Yeah. So it'll be hot wallet, right? So it's like a custody within your own hot wallet, right? Is it hot wallet?
No, it's non-custodial wallet. There's, let's say, on the hot or cold wallet right now, our technology or app needs to perform transaction, as you may know, that on chain. So for that, we need private keys. Users need private keys to perform them, and we are also working and testing with the Tangem card wallet. So they do provide support on other apps. Since we are mobile native, we will be able to use, and actually our users will be able to use their own Tangem card to perform their own transaction and import the wallet into the Kurncy wallet.
Thank you, Felix, for really going, a little bit more than you probably usually do, right? To teach people about certain things people don't understand about how exchanges work, especially centralized exchanges work, especially when it comes to custody. I want to understand your background. Typically when we have guests on the podcast, I try to focus on their background. So Felix, when did you sort of discover Kaspa and why to build on Kaspa?
Well, firstly, and I mentioned it, I'm French Canadian, so English is not my native language, I think I'm okay. I do sometimes search words. but yeah. So basically, my background, I'm an entrepreneur. I've been in the project management. I have 15 years experience in project management in telcos, telecommunication, and banking systems now. And I found out about Kaspa, let's say, 3 years ago, 2022. Yeah. Early on, not as early as some, but early on. I just fell in love with the community and especially the tech and the brains behind it, now I saw the let's say the ecosystems and the technology evolve the last couple of years, and last year was not breakthrough, but we have a fast growing ecosystems that are pretty inspiring. So that's why last year we decided to let's go. Let's start something. Let's build on Kaspa. Yeah. I started mining ETH earlier than Kaspa. I had a mining farm here, and I had hash power. So I was looking to use that hash power into something else. I decided to give it a try, and I started. It was like a fraction of a cent at that moment. So yeah, that's how I found out about Kaspa.
Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I think Ethereum transition from proof of work to proof of stake in September 2022. So I know
Correct.
a lot of miners actually that were mining ETH got angry and left obviously Ethereum and came to Ravecoin a lot, came to Kaspa. So
Yeah, yeah.
I love the story, I love the background, and love that you started building after being a miner, right? A lot of people stay around mining. Obviously, it's a tough time for miners now. So, what is now like? What is the big ambition here for Currency? Do you have an aim, a vision, long term vision that you guys are hoping it becomes one day?
Yeah, and I believe we talk about the adoption part of it, and that's, let's say, our big mission and vision we are
Right.
focusing on. So we want to ground crypto into the world, with all sorts of partners that will use our technology,
Yeah.
currency wallet, currency, the API, the solutions that we will bring to the world. So, like take for example the regular currency exchanges. Right now, if you go to a currency exchange store to exchange from CAD to USD, or
Yeah.
I'm not sure, the New Zealand money.
Well, yeah, these are MoneyGram, right? MoneyGram, Western Union type businesses, right? These are the type of
Yeah,
businesses that work on it, right?
exactly. So right now you can go there and exchange money, but you cannot really buy crypto, or
No.
you cannot get into crypto in those stores. And we are in discussion with some partners here in Canada to start, let's say, a partnership with them to add, in their portfolio, and their assets, crypto, and
Oh,
offer crypto to their existing users. So that's how we will be grounding at first, the crypto and Caspa into the world. And yeah, new user will be able to physically go places, into their stores, and maybe for the first time buy Caspa and even crypto.
right, right, right. I see, I see. I like what you just said. Being able to work with the providers that already do currency exchange, working with
Hmm.
them. Never thought about that actually, because obviously there is a POS angle, like point of sale angle. We spoke to
Hmm.
customers building POS,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah, I
not.
saw.
Yeah, that's not like you guys not positioned that way. You're trying to work more
Not
on
at all. Not at all.
like a more of a bridge between to get there, but not necessarily act in that space or go to that space.
Mm.
Some of the solutions that you mentioned on the website, right there, those are the wallets, like the number one thing. Payment gateway, I think that was very interesting. Currency APIs and currency partners. So partners you've mentioned, wallet, I think you've obviously have live now. So these two,
Yep.
payment gateways and currency APIs, let's go through those two. What are these and how you see them working?
Well, the API is really, let's say, the backbone of our technology.
Of course, yeah.
We see, um, uh, ourselves as a provider, a product and services provider for, currency exchanges, but even institutions like
Okay.
banks, that in the future, in the not so distant future, maybe they
Yeah.
will need, providers for them to be able to
Yeah.
not only offer, but to bridge, the crypto world with
Yeah.
their traditional, banking solutions. So the API will be a white label solution. We
Okay.
won't need the currency, uh,
I see.
marketing and everything. So what we are building is really a white label API that everyone could use in the future
Mm,
to facilitate them, into the crypto world.
right. Interesting.
And right now we are leveraging our, technology for our wallet, but in the future it will be, open to all.
To working with the traditional banking system for them to acquire, like they are getting into Bitcoin, right? There's a lot of push in the US banking system to hold the assets, hold the BTC on the balance sheet. So there's a lot of that is happening on the Bitcoin side, but one day we hope that would happen for other assets as well, including
Mhm.
SPA. So you're making yourself ready for that world when that arrives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
We want to be the first one to be, let's say, to have a complete solution from user to partner to as an offering, let's say.
Yeah. Have you spoken to any banking partners or banking regulators that are showing that they have appetite for non-Bitcoin assets?
Not currently, no. I do know since I worked in the banking system. I do know them. I have contacts, but no, I haven't. We haven't did that step yet.
Right. Okay. So that will happen hopefully soon. And I think there's a lot of chatter happening now on the stablecoin space after the bills. Those
Mhm.
two acts get passed, Stable and Genius, I think, on the US side. On the Congress, those two bills, once they get passed, I'm sure there'll be a lot of push behind the stablecoin and Bitcoin. As I said, is obviously a lot of discussions around the banking system. What about the fourth product that you mentioned is the payment gateway side? What can you tell us there?
I'll try to simplify it,
Yes.
but right now, and I'm sure it's something that everyone uses on their own phone with their own banking account, banking app that they have on their phone. But right now, if you have to pay a bill, you can use your own money in your bank account, select the payee and the amount that you want to pay, and send the money to your credit card bill or anything. So the payment gateway will simply be interacting, or you will be able actually with that solution to pay your electricity bill, a credit card bill, and everything like we have in the banking system.
Right.
And the other way around, and we have not, let's say, mention it on our website, but if you are an hardcore crypto into crypto, you can take your monthly salary, your biweekly salary, and put it into crypto using our solution in the future. So we want to be as close as the real world use cases, and since Kaspa can provide that PPS and it won't bottleneck.
Yeah.
Many use cases, let's say, are now possible.
Yeah. Oh, I love the real world scenario, right? Like the things you're mentioning, and I think we've spoken to a few of the Kaspa holders that are actually taking salary in Kaspa, a portion of the salary. And I think over time we'll see that grow over the years.
Of course.
And then people would need things like solutions that you're, payment gateways that you're defining, right? To be able to use that, the salary that they got in certain currency, being able to use that for real world use cases. Felix, why don't we jump onto the test flight and see the demo of the product itself?
Disclaimer, this is the macOS version of the app. Once you've signed up, here we have a test account. We mostly have Kaspa test addresses, but you'll be granted, let's say, one sign up and imported or created your own wallet. If you have funds in your wallet, you will have the total balance. The total balance is only, let's say, fetching the real Kaspa, which have the value. They are not fetching the let's say the Kaspa test pricing. So yeah, right. The real value is displayed in your total balance.
It's a USD, I'm assuming here, or Canadian dollars?
Right now it's USD. Yeah,
okay.
You can change the currency, your preferred currency display. So right now it's USD. These are yeah, correct.
Huh.
You have NFTs in that account. So we are Currency was and still is the first wallet, official, let's say, on App Store and Google Play, that has introduced the two protocols, so the KRC20 and KRC721 from Casperbot and Casplec, into a native mobile app. And
See,
here we will, let's say, have the tokens as well.
right.
So yeah.
Okay, so this is the main overview. And
Yep.
what is the subscribed addresses? What are those two things underneath?
This is something, again. I always talk about my own problems, but I
Right.
always wanted to be able to, let's say, follow or have close by specific addresses, like in on the cas.fyi website. You can tag. There's addresses, the top 10 addresses that you can tag and follow. Let's say, so the subscribe addresses is your own address that you want to follow, and just see if they buy more Caspa or if they sell Caspa. You will be able to see their assets, because and I believe that one is the wallet, the famous wallet number
The-
2 in the top 10
yeah,
address. So
right.
this is the one.
I
So
see.
I can easily access and see their moving assets.
I see. I see. And so like if you wanted to track Maxi, on chain
Yeah,
wallet, right? You can just subscribe to that wallet, and
correct.
just follow that. Okay, so you just made it easier for people now. You don't need to go to a different site. Cool. I
Correct.
get. And how many can you subscribe to? Can you have 10 of those, or you just have limit?
Right now there's no limit. So if we
Okay.
have some users that want to break it, break it. We don't have any limit right now. We
Right.
might add some, but currently we don't have one.
So this is now more of a monitoring tool also, right? It's not just the
Yeah.
wallet, but you can monitor other wallets activity for trading decisions or for whatever reason you want to
Why not? Yeah,
monitor. So let's move on to the next tab, which is the currency one. Yeah.
So this tab right now is for demonstration only, but it will be used at our partners, and it will be the main tab for on and off ramp fiat currency for deposit and withdrawal. Everything will be built in that tab. Yeah.
Okay. So like on and off ramp basis. So if you bring money from those two
Yep.
providers, right? Interact and
Yep.
play, for example, this will show how much you brought in and how much you're taking out. Like that's the plan here, right?
Correct, exactly. So since we will, our solution will, let's say, introduce the on-off ramp with the app itself, with as I mentioned earlier, the Interact or Venmo like services in the US.
Yeah.
You'll have everything in that under that tab, and if you want to go at one of our partners currency stores, you to interact with them, you'll have to display the QR code, and this QR code is the specific QR code that you will need to display to interact with the merchants.
Right. To interact with merchants. Cool. All right. So that
Yep.
yeah, okay, that's going to be built. I wanted to ask you for timeline, but I'm going to park that for later on to discuss the timelines.
Thanks.
Let's move on to the market. So what is the third one, right? The market tab. Okay, I see.
We have a featured place, especially for Caspa. Right now, we are building and working on the version 2 of the market tab. It's right now it's pretty simple. We have, let's say, the top 5 ish with Caspa at number 5, but you'll soon be able to search between your favorite crypto, add them to your favorites. And display, let's say, a top 5, top 10, top 10 as you want.
And then the profile, I'm assuming, is just more of a settings.
We are betaing, let's say, the contacts info right now with the KNS domain team. So we have completed our foundation of the contact. So you simply it will be simpler for any users to add Kaspa addresses as a contact for them to perform transactions. We are finalizing some testing with the KNS team since we added their protocol in our contact foundation.
Right. So Felix, before we started this session, you mentioned you are going to show us something very exciting, something brand new. Let's go to
that's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
so again, we are still finalizing some testing with the KNS team, but so I just displayed or showed the new contact where you have the KNS domain with the inscription ID right there. You have your Kaspa address that is linked to that domain, and the let's say the surprise for you is the asset management for the KNS domain. So we now have we are now in testing it. It's worked perfectly as you were on their website or Kaspa.com. So yeah, that's how we will be displaying your KNS assets in the future.
That's beautiful. Is it live now? Going to be going live soon?
Soon. We are in the test phases with the team, and it should be by the end of month officially.
This is more of a marketplace, right? But on the KNS side, what you just showed us, it wasn't the domains that the wallet owns. These were so many KNSs. Do you own them, or is this a marketplace that you showed us?
It's a test net wallet.
Okay.
So yeah, it's the KNS assets that we have on that specific address. It's not the marketplace.
Okay, right. That's amazing. Anything else on the demo side?
We welcome any feedback. So, and based on them, we are improving our app. So yeah, right now we have some functionality that are in the funnel that will be released with our next official release on App Store and Google Play. That will ease the user experience using our Kurncy wallet. Okay. But there's no specific new features that will be launched in the.
Yeah.
Well, we are working with KNS team and as well as Kaspa.com, but yeah, it's not there yet.
And now people can go and download the app on both iOS and Android, or is just on one?
Correct. We have officially launched May 16. We added security features that only Google and only Apple can support. Right. Make sure that we have the best and your assets secure within your phone. Right now we are in the beta phases with new features that will be released by the end of month.
So what are the next steps for you guys?
We did an AMA, an X-Space a couple of weeks ago when we talk about our roadmap, and what we've announced there was the KNS domain marketplace from Kaspa.com. We are partnering with Kaspa.com to integrate their marketplace within the Kurncy wallet for users to interact and buy, sell their token and even domains within their phone. So that will be released hopefully by the KNS right now. Yeah. But for the marketplace, it will be we hope July or August. But since we in parallel we are working on the licenses and the regulators to for us to perform on and off ramp, which is our main mission and vision. Right now, we plan to release by the end of year for Canadians that functionality. And the US will come, which should come by in 2026.
Okay, all right.
So that's basically it.
Yeah, which is a lot.
Which is a lot, yeah.
I think these, especially regulatory matters, they're
Yeah.
slow, they're cumbersome, they take a lot of resource. So worth
Mm.
highlighting. So I wanted to move our discussion slightly to that direction. So thanks for the segue. I think you mentioned a couple of big things, right? On and off ramp, working on the exchange side, also like getting the licenses for exchange. And on the website itself, I read that you are going to be getting AMF plus Fintrac compliance. So I
Yep.
wanted to get into those details, like what are the licenses that you need, and for running an exchange in Canada. Let's just focus on Canada being the country that you're right now in and focused on. So what are these compliances, and what do you need to run an exchange?
Well, and again, since we won't be described as a centralized exchange, or our use cases and how we will work and interact with money and crypto,
Yeah,
uh, but we still need licenses and some
yeah,
some paperwork, let's say, to be done to make sure that we are facilitating not only our solution but also the relation with our partners.
yeah.
So you mentioned AMF and Fintrac. So the AMF part is specifically for Canada and actually here in Quebec, where I am. And this is the main one that we need if any businesses here in Canada wants to hold value and manage assets. You need the AMF license to be compliant.
So it's not. I'm used to AML, which is the anti-money laundering. So this is
It's not the same.
not the same.
It's not AML. No,
Right.
but you have to comply to
Yeah.
AML
Yeah.
to have the AMF license.
Okay. Right. So AML.
As for KYC and even
KYC.
QIT, that is, let's say, popular right now.
Yeah.
So your KYC and QIT. So you have to comply to them, to those to be able to have the AMF license.
Right. And the other one you mentioned is the Fintrac compliance.
Yep. This is more of North America, the Fintrac. So that part is basically the same as AMF here in Canada, but the Fintrac would be more of North America to be compliant with them. And again, to acquire and have the Fintrac license, you have to comply with many rules, and AML, KYC, KYT is something that that we will need to comply within our solutions.
Right. Right. Because this is obviously for a Canadian wallet / Canadian exchange, not a centralized exchange, let's call it. So because most of the other wallets, I don't believe they require KYC, right?
Nope.
Those
Nope.
are
Nope.
fortunately, depending on where you where on the aisle you're sitting. But you guys have to be compliant, obviously, because you are
Correct.
in Canada.
Correct. But again, we need to be compliant.
Yeah.
And we will be licensed. We will be registered to any regulated partners or government. We need to, but there are specific rules within that environment. Once you're there, even though we need to apply KYC for a certain amount of transaction, but we don't need to apply KYC, let's say, under, I believe it's $3,000.
Okay.
So there's some rules within that regulation
Right.
that we would need to comply. So once we get there, we will be able to inform our users and make sure that we are transparent with them when they use our wallet and other solution, part of Kurncy Solution.
Yeah. I think for some people, perhaps it does bring some trust. For others, it might be that I don't want to tell you, or I don't want to do KYC, but some other customers might, especially when you're talking about adoption, right? That's the key for a lot
Yeah.
of people to
Yeah.
know that my wallet is compliant with the regulators. I think, Felix, we've covered a lot, and I think a lot of that is new for perhaps, Kaspa community, even though they
Mhm.
might have seen the wallet, they might have played around with it, but the discussions are actually what the key for us is, right? It gets to see,
Yep.
how the entrepreneurs are building and what they're building. So I wanted to wrap this up. Any specific thoughts that you have?
We are working on mainstream solution
Yeah.
again, specifically on adoption. Other project, other ecosystems, other builders are working on with Casway. That there's many great projects on their way that will resolve other use cases, and we're not that. We will provide though more users.
Yeah.
That's how again we see our mission and vision, and that's how we roll, let's say. We see a bright future for Caspa and crypto in general.